On April 1st, 2021, I ditched a career I absolutely hated to better myself and do the things I've always wanted to do. And that included my growing love and obsession with Ireland. I want to learn everything: culture, history, mythology, music, and the language. Which, if I'm being honest, looks really hard to learn, but I'm going to give it the old Smith try. Then, of course, there is my love of pubs and the role that they've played throughout history, and no better example of that than on that beautiful, beleaguered island in the North Atlantic, Ireland. April 1st, 2026, I depart for the Emerald Isle, and for 1 year, I'll hike town by town and conduct interviews with pub owners, pub regulars, historians, town know-it-alls, musicians, and basically anybody that wants to talk to me. If you'd like to support the project and the journey, basic Patreon support is only $3 a month, but just liking a video or subscribing to the channel and following the journey is just as helpful. I'm always looking for volunteers to work as liaisons for the project too, so if you live in Ireland and know people, feel free to hit me up. This is a huge goal and I need all the help I can get. The Smitty Learns Irish Pubcast begins April 26th and will be my life's work. Thank you. And welcome to the Smit Hole. My name is Smitty from the What the Hell Everything podcast, and album 2 from Sinead O'Connor, previously reacted to The Lion and the Cobra, which has become one of my favorite albums, and a lot of those songs have gone on to playlists that I listen to again and again and again. Again, I said it on the last and the subsequent reactions that finding out about her posthumously is a real bummer. I wish I would have done it earlier in life. But I've always loved her and always respected her. And to say I was didn't know what I was getting into when I listened to that first album is putting it lightly. And I've heard nothing but kind of the same thing about the follow-up to the debut, which is, why is it escaping me? I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. From 1990, and of course I know Nothing Compares to You. Hopefully it doesn't make me cry. But I think that the only other song that I've heard on this album is The Emperor's New Clothes, and that was probably when it was released. I'm pretty sure that was another single. And I remember being like, how old was I? Barely 15, maybe, when that was released and I heard it. So I was in a different place musically, and it wouldn't have been what I wanted to listen to. But the follow-up, I didn't really know if I liked back then. But I'm really interested to see how I feel about it now and the entire album. So Ramblers, let's get rambling. Make sure it's not on shuffle. And we'll start with track 1, Feel So Different. Sinead O'Connor, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. Thank you for being here, by the way.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. I am not like I was before. Thought that nothing would change me. I was not listening anymore. Still you continue to affect me. Was not thinking anymore. Although I said I still was. I'd said I don't want anymore. Of that experience, and now I feel so different. I feel so different. I feel so different.
apologize for looking at my phone, but if I do during any point in this reaction, it will simply be to look up information on the album or any other information about Sinead O'Connor that comes up during. But I really just kind of want to look at like personnel and songwriting because that's always interesting to me when I'm listening to an album. So Sinead O'Connor. What have we got? Wikipedia. It's usually fairly reliable. All right, so I have that up. I really just wanted to take a look at like the track listing and songwriters because I was pretty sure that Sinead O'Connor wrote pretty much everything. And I know that obviously Nothing Compares to You as a cover, but I was just curious. So anyway, I'm really, really loving the vibe of this right now and the build of it and just how understated. It's so different from the opener from The Lion and the Cobra, which I think was Jackie, or that came in hot, and it came in hot. It's probably the best way to describe it, and it just gave me instant chills, and I love how this is kind of like an opposite intro to this album. I kind of like it. I like it. I like the different.
I have not seen freedom before.
And her words are always impactful.
And I did not expect to. Don't let me forget now I'm here. Help me to help you to behold you. I started off with many friends. We spent a long time talking. I thought they meant every word they said. Like everyone else, they were stalling. And now they seem so different. You seem so different. You seem so different. I should have hatred for you.
I love that lyric.
But I do not have any. And I have always loved you. Oh, you have taught me plenty. The whole time I've never seen all you had spread before me. The whole time I've never seen. All I need was inside me. Now I feel so different. Feel so different. I feel so different.
Man, first impressions are key. I feel like, man, I can really hear the era of 1990 in here. Again, I was probably, 15, 14 maybe when this was released? But it's still, you can hear the 90s production, essentially early 90s, late 80s production, and it just kind of puts you back in there, along with that instrumentation, I feel like, that I've heard from Sinead O'Connor with Nothing Compares to You. Just that production, essentially. Puts me into that era, and it's just so cool how I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong quite a bit, but the vibe of this, I think, is so intentional. Like, that first album just seemed to be, at least with a select group of songs, just like spitting fury, which was incredible. This is also incredible, but in a different way. It's just a totally different delivery. It's like she was pissed off and didn't know how to vent her feelings in the first one, and she's kind of figuring herself out and figuring out how to deal with those feelings in this second album. Hence even the name of the album, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. That's learning how to deal with it. I don't want that fucking shit. They don't want me. You know, that's kind of a good way to look at it after going through that. So, I'm pretty wordy, but I'm also pretty impressed. I am stretched on your grave. Very dancey. Anonymous vocal melody in here. And that little bass line in there. Almost sounds like Thriller. Sorry, but I got to get an obligatory pause in here, and I didn't know if she was gonna, if there was gonna be a vocal pause, because she's just going. The vocal delivery in here is so cool, and it's constant. And again, that fucking groove in there is such a danceable thing. I don't know that to be any sort of electronic instrument in here. If it is, I'm not knocking it, but I just don't know. But it's a very techno-y sort of vibe to it, to that fucking groove. And again, her vocal delivery and the lyrics, always. Ta, ta, ta. Fucking impact moments.
Still
That's fun. Just those little quick hits in there. And she's not taking a break vocally. I don't feel like really at all. And it's kind of impressive. Breath control. She did this all in one take. I don't know that to be true, but I wouldn't doubt it. Just knowing where to hit it vocally too. So many things like that. Then we get all jammy. Man, that was really cool. They basically kept that same groove the entire song. Very danceable, sort of poppy sort of groove, but just the way that she delivered that vocal pretty much throughout up until that end jam, where I was like, oh man, you brought is it a fiddle in Ireland or is it a violin? Or is it a different thing? When that fiddle came in. Really just added that extra layer and then jammed out. Man, super fun. 3 babies. Sounds like a Pink Floyd or Moody Blues or something. Man, she's doing things vocally in this song that are just hitting me right in the spine in a great way. I typically wouldn't. I don't gravitate towards like poppier sounding music or mainstream sounding music, but again, I'm thinking about in 1990. In this particular instance, I love that like the bells and whistles, the production bells and whistles came out because that first album was so impactful, and they just whoever was doing the production and the management with her, I don't necessarily know the story, but I love that they're like you. I just love that she was just braced for like international success with this album. That song, Nothing Compares to You specifically, but it different sonically than the first one because I definitely think it had more of a punk rock and roll sort of vibe so far. But I love the way polished is not the right word. I don't know the right word, but I love how accessible it is so far. It's probably the best way to put it. And this is beautiful, beautiful vocally and lyrically.
Each of these my 3 babies I will carry with me. For myself I ask no one else will be mother to these 3.
Sounds like a lullaby. And I don't have the lyrics up, as I say many times if you've watched my videos. I like to just be impacted by the music and just sit and listen to it and not study the lyrics, you know what I mean? It's not an analyze, it's a reaction. And we're getting into the Emperor's New Clothes, which I think I've heard before.
Seems years since you held a baby while I ranked the bedroom.
Yeah.
You said it was dangerous after Sunday, and I knew you loved me.
Yeah, it was way. I remember hearing this now, back probably when it came out, and just being like, because again, I was getting heavy in the rock and roll, and it wasn't this, you know. I would have probably just gone, no, and moved on. But again, I love how danceable and there were some danceable songs on her first album. Don't get me wrong, but there's definitely seems to be a little more mainstream accessibility to this that I like. I didn't mean to restart it, but hey, here we go.
Seems years since you held a baby while I ranked the bedroom. You said it was dangerous after Sunday, and I knew you loved me. Hit things I just became. treated you mean. I really didn't mean to. You know how it is and how a pregnancy can change you. See plenty clothes that I like, but I won't go anywhere nice for a while. All I want to do is just sit here and write it all down and rest for a while. I can't bear to be in another city, one where you are not. I would return to nothing without you if I'm your girlfriend or not. Maybe I was mean, but I really don't think so. You asked if I'm scared and I said so.
Seriously, this whole vibe of this album seems to be just like her just going, okay, and accepting things and just moving the fuck on. It's kind of rad. I like it when you can sense the narrative change of somebody's brain. As I always say, and if you love Sinead O'Connor, you can fucking relate to this. There are people that will say when a celebrity dies, a musician or whatever, they'll be like, oh yeah, why don't you why don't you show grief for like soldiers that are lost? Why do you got to fucking worry about a celebrity dying? Kind of bullshit, right? But if you fucking think about it, listening to music lets you know people in like the most intimate ways with like singer-songwriters, people who are writing their own songs specifically. It's such a personal insight into somebody's brain, you know? And when a fucking loved celebrity dies that you listen to, and I'm using that as this particular instance, you feel like you know them because you do, you know? You may never talk to them, but you listen to their fucking words and you listen to their brain, you know? And I love that you can kind of sense the narrative change in her own brain. Long-winded way around back to that story.
Everyone can see what's going on. They laugh 'cause they know they're untouchable, not because what I said was wrong. If it may rain, I will live by my own policies. I will sleep with a clear conscience. I will sleep in peace. Maybe it sounds mean, but I really don't think so. You asked for the truth and I told you through their own words. They will be exposed. They got a southern case of the emperor's new clothes. The emperor's new clothes. The emperor's new clothes. The emperor's new clothes.
Man, it's so cool now hearing that song again. All these years later, I'm a little older. I'm hopefully a little wiser and a little more, I've opened that rock and roll mind a little bit, hopefully. And the poppiness definitely sits with me better now that I'm older. I remember it didn't at the time. It's so funny just hearing this, and it just brings me back to when I was a fucking 14-year-old man. Just I remember exactly kind of what I was thinking. And I think I was watching the video, and I don't know if it was the video or the song, but it was just, because I'm pretty sure that was the follow-up to Nothing Compares to You. And I just remember being so impacted by Nothing Compares to You. Like, I was madly in love with Sinead O'Connor. I was just like, I've never seen such a beautiful woman in my fucking entire life. And still, to this day, I'm just like, I can't even believe how beautiful she is. But it was just such a different kind of, way more dancey, poppier kind of thing. And I was like, oh man, I kind of wanted it to be like that. And it wasn't. And since then, I'd never really listened to Sinead O'Connor again. Hopefully I'm not an a-hole anymore. All right. Black Boys on Mopeds. Let's go.
Margaret Thatcher on TV, shocked by the deaths that took place in Beijing. It seems strange that she should be offended. The same orders are given by her. I've said this before now. You said I was childish and you'll say it now. Remember what I told you. If they hated me, they will hate you. England's not the mythical land of Madame George and Roses. It's the home of police who kill black boys on mopeds. And I love my boy, and that's why I'm leaving. I don't want him to be aware that there's any such thing as grieving. Young mother down at Smithfield, 5 a.m. looking for food for her kids. In her arms she holds 3 cold babies, and the first word that they learned was please.
What a lyricist she is. I love how she just brought, I hate to even use past tense, just brought social issues to the table in your fucking face. It is one of my favorite things about her. Because that's the people that I love, people that say, fuck you. We're not going to deal with that shit anymore, We need more people like that.
Dangerous days. To say what you feel is to make your own grave. Remember what I told you. If you were of the world, they would love you. England's not the mythical land of Madame George and Roses. It's the home of police who kill black boys on mopeds. And I love my boy, and that's why I'm leaving. I don't want him to be aware that there's any such thing as grieving.
And I shouldn't say brought in the past tense because music lives on. That's not cheesy or pretentious. This is fucking beautiful. That message lives on. That's the whole thing. Like when people die, and it's obviously terrible, and it's kind of the way that I deal with death in general. Where, like, yeah, you grieve and it's awful, but I really just tend to look at it like you gotta fucking honor the legacy of the people that shaped you. You know, you keep that fucking message going on. And music is the ultimate, kind of just lives on. It's going through the cosmos now as we speak, you know? It's great songwriting. Now into the incomparable Nothing Compares to You. See what I did there?
It's been 7 hours and 50 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose.
Okay, maybe she's not completely over it. Sorry for laughing. It's a great song, and I love it. I really do. But it's just, what was I saying the whole time? Oh, she's moved on. She's good. Granted, it's a cover. Shout out to fucking Prince.
I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing, I said nothing can take away these blues, 'cause nothing compares to you.
I remember just being so blown away hearing this, and with the video especially, and just those eyes, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I had never seen or heard like such a beautiful thing in my entire life, and that still fucking resonates with me when I hear this goddamn song.
It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong?
man, it's so fun before her vocal kicks back in that wrecks my life. I don't know if I'll cry today. We'll see. But it's so funny. I think even Prince said that he's like, that's Sinead O'Connor's song. Like, yeah, I wrote it and everything, and I think he recorded it, right? I'm pretty sure. I've heard it before. I'm positive. Maybe it was live. Anyway, he's like, that's her song. And there's so many artists like that are capable, but it really reminds me of somebody like Linda Ronstadt, who just has the ability to take any song that was a cover or somebody else wrote or whatever, and all of a sudden it's fucking hers. And obviously different singers, but I mean, similarly, that's hers. That's her song.
All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard, all died when you went away. I know that living with your baby was sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give it another try. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
It's always great. It's always great. She's always great. As we flow into Jump in the River.
Phone calls always left me unsure.
It's a little dirty little vibe.
They never say things of their own accord. I am preoccupied. I can't get them out of my mind. They are terrified. If you said jump in the river, I would, because it would probably be a good idea. You're not supposed to be here at all now. It's all been a gorgeous mistake. Sick one, clean one, the best one God ever made. When I kissed you, you didn't know. I thought I tasted of too many cigarettes, but you tasted like wine, and I'm not gonna change my mind just because of what they said. The worries lay eggs in their hands, but not in my head. And if you said jump in the river, I would, because it would probably be a good idea. You're not supposed to be here at all now. It's all
I gotta say, it's what a smart follow-up to Nothing Compares to You. I mean, just from content standpoint, you're totally fucking broken, right? Nothing compares to you. And then you're like, I gotta jump in the fucking river. With a really, just a change in tone as well. Just totally upbeat, really kind of dirty, gnarly vibe. And kind of a real fucking fun rock and roll, poppy rock and roll. I don't necessarily need or want to distinguish that, but anyway, let's continue to jump in the river.
You said jump in the river, I would, because it would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, I like that song. It was kind of just a fun change of pace from the way it was going. I did bring up the lyrics a little bit. I didn't catch much of that content, but definitely change in vibe. And you cause as much sorrow. Sorry, my old man eyes having a hard time adjusting to that.
I'm full of good intentions, like I never was before. It's too late for prevention.
Wow. That whispery, super powerful, powerful whispery delivery. You know what that reminds me of is Tori Amos. So clearly to me, I see the influence on Tori Amos from Sinead O'Connor as well. But it really sounds like a Tori Amos delivery right there. Uncanny.
But I don't think it's too late for the cure. So you call in your minions and see what you can find. Nighttime or morning, these hands are sticky, but I don't mind. Why must you always be around? Why can't you just leave it be? It's done nothing so far but destroy my life. You cause as much sorrow, dead as you did when you were alive. Never said I was tough. That was everyone else.
Man, I love just that understated guitar chord layering, whatever the term is. Very Tom Petty-ish sort of thing to me, especially like in a live setting. It just has like a Tom Petty vibe as well. I'm just mixing all these artists that I think Sinead O'Connor is resembling in this song. I feel like in a great way.
You're a fool to attack me. The image that you built yourself. Just sounds more vicious. Than I actually mean. I really am soft. Yes, tender and sweet. Why must you always be around? Why can't you just leave it be? You've done nothing so far but destroy my life. You cause as much sorrow, dead as you did when you were alive. Why must you always ask me? Why can't you just leave me be? You've
flow into last day of our acquaintance. I don't know if I keep thinking I'm worried about copyright with pauses and things, but honestly, you guys, posting videos to Patreon is so much easier because you don't need to link it to YouTube anymore doing things like this. But if I don't pause and something's going to go on YouTube, then it's going to fuck everything, and that could block it. Anyway, the point of the story is I don't know if I obligatory pause it on this one. I was thinking, and I don't want anybody to take this as like a knock, because it's not. But if there is one thing that I guess you could say, if I preferred it, I would love to hear some of that fucking fury. You know, some of that just rawness that was on that first album. Again, it's a little more polished on this one. The delivery is not as in your face necessarily, but it's still fantastic and great. I just I keep hoping to hear something like that. I'm not going to be disappointed necessarily if I don't. But I guess if I shut up and listen, I'll find out. Last day of our acquaintance.
This is the last day of our acquaintance. I will meet you later in somebody's office. I'll tell but you won't listen to me. I know what your answer will be. I know you don't love me anymore. You used to hold my hand when the plane took off. 2 years ago, there just seemed so much more. And I don't know what happened to our love.
I gotta say, I definitely, of this album so far, prefer when it's stripped down instrumentally rather, because my brain is just not attuned. I don't gravitate towards like poppier sounding things. The songs are great, but if you're asking me instrumentally, which I would prefer, and song wise, which I would prefer, man, when she strips down to just like that guitar and more or less that guitar and her voice and her delivery. That's all you fucking need. You could do a whole album of just acoustical, and she probably has.
Friendship has been stale, and we will meet later to finalize the details. 2 years ago, the seed was planted, and since then you have taken me for granted. But this is the last day of our acquaintance. I'll meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me.
Yeah.
This is the last day of our acquaintance.
I heard this song.
I will meet you later in somebody's office.
Let me do a quick check because I feel like I've heard this before, either in a soundtrack. I want to see, first of all, if it's on any Irish playlist that I have. Probably not. Very possible. How about Irish Radness? I did. Oh, I put it on there right now. Sinead O'Connor, because this is going to fucking bug me. And hence, this is my reaction. This is how I do it. Sinead O'Connor, last day. Day of our acquaintance. And then soundtrack. Is there a soundtrack? Movie soundtrack. Doesn't look like it. Okay, but I've heard it somewhere. And but I like it. I like how it really, really kicked in there. Just the tone, just that little accent signaled. Bam.
This is the last day of our acquaintance. I will meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. I know your answer already. I know your answer already. I know your answer already.
Yeah, I like that. I like really just, especially like the end section there. Again, when she just strips down with the guitar,
I'm walking.
that's all she needs. Like that live version of Troy that I reacted to. It's just her and a guitar, and it's so impactful. Now the title track, last track on the album. I do not want what I haven't got.
I'm walking through the desert, and I'm not frightened, although it's hard. I have all that I requested, and I do not want what I haven't got.
Man,
Have
real quick, and then especially if it's going the way I feel like it could go, I ain't gonna pause it again. But I just wanted to say I thought that natural, voice pause that she had was gonna kick into some instrumental intro. But I was wondering before that, is this gonna be like the whole delivery through the whole song? And that would be kind of rad if it's just her closing it out at the end. I feel like there'll probably be some instrumental picking up here pretty soon, but I'm hoping for the former.
have learned this from my mother. See how happy she has further. Though I know not where it takes me, I have water for my journey. I have bread and I have wine. No longer will I be hungry, for the bread of life is mine. I saw a navy bluebird flying way above the sea. I walked on and I learned later that this navy bluebird was me. I returned the paler bluebird, and this is the advice they gave me. You must not try to be too pure. You must fly closer to the sea. So I'm walking through the desert, and I am not frightened, although it's hard. I have all that I requested, and I do not want what I haven't got.
Wow, she really did that. Wow, that was impressive. Honestly, it's just like from, I'm not in her brain, obviously, but it's just like, oh, I wrote this poem and I'm just going to sing it, in the most sultry, undertoned, emotional way that, she probably could have done. Some things are just perfect as is, They could have layered that with instrumentation. They could have done this. Honestly, that was pretty impressive. And that whole album was really impressive. And like when I say that I wanted some of that fury that I had heard from the previous album, just some of that
that was a rawness probably too. And whoa, sorry guys, there's a fire department police station right next to my house. Are we done? But the more stripped down she gets, the more powerful she gets, it seems like. And there could be other subsequent albums from her that tap back into that sort of punk rocky sort of vibe that I absolutely fell in love with. But I love artists to change, and I want to hear different things, and I love that this album was so accessible to people, and that so many people got to fucking hear, pretty fantastic. Anyway, that does it for me, and a fantastic album reaction. I'll say dud free on that one, super fun. Should I continue the Sinead O'Connor reaction album reaction trend, whatever the words are? I don't know. I think I might. There's all kinds of room for it in my life. And I'm out of here. Thank you so much.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I'm so sorry for everything that has happened.
Neat. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys there. By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
What the hell? Everything!